Things you should already know about your internet exposure. Where's your money going? You want to find out what you're spending per month if you're in a contract and really find out what it's going for. And a couple of the things to ask are, if you pay monthly, what is it applied to? Where's your site pointed? Metastructure, okay? What's your ROI? How many of you guys here have ability to pull a report and say, okay, well, how many credit applications have I received? How many inquiries have I received? How many coupon submissions? How many quick apps? How many fine vehicle requests? How much did I spend this month? Okay, well, how much money do I pay per lead? What's my return on investment per lead here? Now, questions to ask your provider. Number one, I beat this up to death. Find out if you own your domain name. They'll usually let you transfer it into one of your accounts if you ask for it. And it might cost $10. But traditionally, a website company buys the domain name for you. We buy a domain name for all of our clients that they own, and we always transfer them if they request it. We manage and maintain them. The one thing that you do have to do is renew it when it's getting ready to expire. Usually, you have about a year. It's only $8.95, so it's not very much at all. But you put it on all your marketing materials. I've ran into a lot of clients that have switched to our service, and they say, okay, well, can you transfer our domain name? And they say, oh, we're not going to do that. We own it. We bought it for you. We'll sell it to you for $5,000. Now, if it's in your account, you can control it. Now, hosting. A lot of people will say that, we're hosting your website and it's $300 a month or $150 or $500. Hosting shouldn't really cost you more than $19.95, to some companies even $40 for the highest level package. We charge $14 with our company, but I've seen a lot of horror stories where people don't know about it and they don't ask those questions. And another question to ask is, can I transfer to a different hosting company? Okay, GoDaddy can host your account. There's a lot of local companies that you can get your site hosted with, and sometimes you can end up with a better experience. Now, if technology is changing, you do want to ask when the most recent update that they've released is. If technology is changing, do you have the latest version? Because it changes daily. I can't stress that enough. Now, there might be a small charge, and you want to find out when the last time they did an update is. Sometimes they will charge you programming if they have to physically assign a programmer to go in there and update the code. Usually, there's an hourly rate of $85 or $100 an hour. It shouldn't take more than 30 minutes to an hour to install an upgrade. It's probably the best $100 you've ever spent. So you don't want to do them too frequently. Sometimes every 6 months is fine. You don't want to do that every single month. It's redundant. But make sure that you have the newest, latest, greatest version. Now, when was the last time they did a site review? If they're claiming they do SEO, say, send me a list of results that show me in the #1 spot. Where am I at? You're saying that you do it. Show me. Very easily, this is traditionally a free service that most companies offer. Sometimes there's a back-end tool. I think with dealer.com, they might have a back-end tool that shows you the listing results on the latest version. But get them to show you. If you're paying for it, it should be pretty simple. Show me the results. Show me what I'm paying for. And if you're not in the results, take those tools and key in your combination. The location that your website's pointed. If it's not showing up there, it can be, but you can't fix a problem until you identify it. So take a look at that, definitely. Now, this is my contact information right here. As I mentioned, I am the CEO and co-founder with AutoSearch Technologies. We do websites as well as listing services. On our website here, we also do offer free website analysis. There's no obligation to buy. We'll show you if you're doing something wrong, what can be fixed. Go over some of the same tools we went on. If you want a free analysis, we can definitely get that done for you. Other than that, I did know that we covered quite a bit. Were there any questions pertaining to, okay, sir? No, there's actually a list, and you can Google stop words. That's all you need to type in. Cheap is not a stop word. You don't want to use any words like if, and, that, or, but, a, in, out. But cheap is definitely not. That gives you the option, cheap cars, cheap autos, cheap vehicles. A lot of people think that metastructure is the end of the world and it's the most important thing and that is the #1 go-to, and it's not. But you have to, about 10 years ago, there were some restrictions on metastructure and those rules have changed. But metastructure has become less important. It is still extremely important because you do need to tell the search engines where you're at, but linking into and from is probably one of the biggest things. The problem with that is you do need to stay on top of it, because if a site that was linking into you has been taken offline, it's considered a dead link, and those can actually weigh you down. But the word cheap, I'm not sure who mentioned that, but no, that's not a problem at all. You can definitely use cheap. You want to give yourself as many combinations as possible. But low cost, bad credit, there's a lot of things you can insert above and beyond in there. If you didn't want to, you wouldn't have to necessarily use it, but you would not be hurting your website at all in any way, shape, or form by using that in there. Any other questions? You in the back, sir? There's a lot of tools. One of the unique things with our company is we offer free lifetime upgrades. And if you don't pay close attention to your back-end control panel when you log in, each month we change that news section where we'll show, hey, here's a new feature, here's how you turn it on, here's how you turn it off. Now, are you featuring a lot of inventory on your homepage? Okay, that's probably one of the main reasons why. Now, anytime a vehicle listing is clicked on, it does cache those images to a separate server. So any new potential customer that visits your site, if that vehicle's been loaded prior to by any other company, it's pulling them from a cached server versus from the database. But the more vehicles you feature on your homepage, you're going to definitely run into that. But there's several different ways that you can feature vehicles, and I can definitely show you that why. But it has to load the image thumbnails for pretty much anything. So if you have, it's never traditionally a good idea to list more than 3 vehicles. I don't think, because you run into sometimes those consumers who scroll down and they think that that's all you got. We allow our clients to feature one or all. We give you the freedom and ability, but you run into those people that think, okay, well, this is what you got. They don't even click on browse inventory. They just scroll and go from there. But yeah, if you come by, I can definitely show you some of those tips and tricks.
Do we have a mobile application?
You know what? A lot of people ask that. We have the ability to. We already have the technology in place. But if you think about it, and I've done a lot of research here as the CEO, Google released a platform called Android, which has now been released to all cell phone providers, and it plays full flash. Traditionally, you can't see flash, and Apple is one of the main companies that still doesn't. With the iPad and the iPhone, you can't read flash. There's a new programming language that came out that's called HTML5 that's going to be replacing flash. We have it implemented in. The only reason why we haven't put it in full place yet is the browser so far, Internet Explorer and Mozilla Firefox, can't support HTML5 yet. It's advancing too quick. But to answer your question, there's a lot of companies that just recently wasted a lot of money building their applications to be .mobile, because phones are getting bigger, they're getting faster, they play flash, and you can either convert your website to a .mobile, or the technology can convert to the websites. And you're going to notice that with the new pads that are coming out through HTC, through Nokia, through Nexus, they're rivaling the iPad. The only reason why they launched it was because there was a lot of competition and they wanted to be the first on the market. But inside 4 months, everything's going to be able to be visible on your standard PDAs, BlackBerries, and you won't need to use a .mobile application. They're conforming to fit the websites.